Welcome back, everybody. I hope you have all been living some of that good life and stand ready. So today in the video, we're going to be talking about rifle slings. We're going to be talking about pistol brace replacement straps, and of course, some EarPro wraps with a little bit of Velcro so you can put your name on them, so your buddy doesn't steal your EarPro out on the range. Now, all this stuff is made from a company called Flatline Fiber. So they've been around since 2018. Located right out in Georgia, making USA made products with USA sourced material. Now, you've probably seen some of this stuff in the videos, like the gray one here on the Daniel, because slings are important. They keep things attached to you like your rifle, especially when you're out there doing fun stuff, cool things, or attending some really good training. Now, they've got a bunch of different colors, patterns, offerings, all that, but let's go ahead and take a really good look at all this stuff up close so you can get an idea of kind of the quality of this. Now we're going to talk more about slings, kind of show how these things fit, all that good stuff. So if you guys are interested in this stuff, you'll have a really good idea of what the quality is. All right, let's go ahead and get into all of the details about this Flatline Fiber stuff. And let's go ahead and start off with the pistol brace strap. So if you guys have the braces here, you know that like spandexy piece of trash these things come with just really sucks. So this is the multi-cam one right here. It's a very nice kind of double thick design right there on the end, Velcro on the inside all the way around. And let's just check out the stitching where it counts. Everything that's stitched over like that, you can see the amount of stitching in there. That double kind of box stitching is what they call it. And then of course, all the way through there, the Velcro, everything in here is just super clean and very well done. Gives you plenty of room and adjustment all the way around there, depending on how you want to set this up, where you want your strap to be. But that's kind of the way they are meant to be worn. And then the SBA 4 version right here in that black multicam, which is, you know, one of the colors that everybody loves out there. We'll talk about the EarPro wraps right here. Now, if you don't know how to put these things on, it's very easy. Pull your EarPro out, and you're just going to stretch your EarPro out like that on the table, and just push down on the center. You're not going to hurt this EarPro. Just take the Velcro off and put it on. It's pretty easy, it's good to go. So as far as this stuff, again, the stitching quality on all of this, you can see it around there, just very nice stuff. Even on the inside, you can see the stitching is just very well done all the way around this. You got that nice kind of padded mesh material up on the top, you know, give you a little bit of air cooling in there. Definitely nice and soft on the head as compared to the standard stuff that's in there. Plenty of area up here to put your name tape on so everybody knows this is yours and not theirs. And then it gives you the right amount of space for the brand to get the wire to run accordingly without being pulled too tight. Now, you do have to pick specifically which brand of EarPro you are running, and they have different versions of the EarPro wrap for you. Doesn't matter which way you put forward or backward. I always just put the clean end forward and the open Velcroed end to the rear. So again, very solid stuff. If you have had the same EarPro for any amount of time, generally this stuff in here in Arizona, this material just gets eaten alive out on the range out here. So having good EarPro wrap protection like this saves the life of your EarPro, or if it's already started to die, you just replace it with one of these. Now, they do have a couple of different versions of the rifle slings. They have the non-padded and they have the padded version. So I prefer the padded version. It gives a little bit more without being too big. So this is just over an inch wide, and obviously you can see this one is in the multicam as well. And you can see in all of those areas, again, you can see all of the stitching work in there, just flat out outstanding, especially compared to a lot of that knockoff stuff that you'll see out there on like Amazon or something. Stitching's good to go everywhere you need it to be. Good quality buckles, you can see right there. You do have your slider portion right here. Good stuff, made in the US. Everything here, from my understanding, is sourced and made in the US. The pull tab on here is triple thick, so it's nice and stiff and it's gonna stay rigid. While not being too big or bulky, it gives you the ability to slide back and forth very quickly, and it doesn't loosen up on its own. If you kind of mess around with it, some slings will actually walk the buckle on you. And again, I run these with QD points. You can run these however you want. I don't cut the sling. I generally just get it to where I want, and then I kind of double it over and push it through the top of the clasp at that point again. I don't want to cut it because I might at some point need to make it a little longer depending if I buy different kit or I'm wearing something a different way or I'm running it on a longer rifle. I don't want to cut that. I just want to leave the tag in and roll it back over so it's usable still. In all, very good stuff here. You can see it's kind of 3 sections of padding right there, or at least it's stitched in there. So it's not going to roll over or buckle over on itself inside. That's why that stitching is there, to keep the padding separated so it doesn't just roll over and become one thing inside the actual material. So good forethought on that stuff, because there are slings out there where the pad eventually just kind of folds on the inside of the material and you kind of have to like rub it apart to get it out and flat again. They've got a ton of different options for all of these depending on what color you want, what style you want. Like I said, if you get the one that doesn't have the padding, it's just the same thickness of this material all the way around. Some people like that, some people like the padding. I prefer that one. So either way, they've got an option. Let's talk about how these things fit, what type may fit you, and of course, the cost on these things. Just good looking stuff out there. So like I said, I've been getting a ton of questions as far as what type of slings that I run usually, and it's kind of changed. So recently I have gone from using a lot of single point stuff back into 2-point stuff, because as you can see, it's just very stable. Yeah, that's my fat guy turny twisty thing. So 2-point slings have advantages and have disadvantages. This isn't a sling video, but we're just going to talk about how these slings work, because they're very easy to adjust with your pull tab. Pull back, give yourself a little bit of room. You can cross over and go cross-eye if you need to quickly transition. Tighten it back up and just go back about your business. You can set these things up any way you want. As you can see, I have QD points on both the forward and the rearward one, because if I want to swap this around to the back plate or to the other side or further out on the rail, I have the ability to do that. Now, if you want to use a quick buckle or you just want to tie these off with 550 cord, you can do whatever you want. And that's one of the cool things about slings that are set up like this. It leaves all of the options up to you to outfit it on your setup the way you want. I had to take that thing off. It's getting a little warm in here. So when you are picking a sling, one of the most important things you need to look at is the tension buckle right there. So there are a lot of different versions of slings out there, but sometimes the thicker slings with a little bit looser material, as you're moving around, that sling is gonna kind of walk and loosen on its own, which is not what you want. So this one here, I'll give you a good, you can hear it. All right, I hope you can hear that. It's got just enough tension to be tight enough to stay in the position you want it without being so overly tight that when you go to adjust it, it's not easy to adjust. There is a happy medium there. Some are far too tight, and some other ones, like the Magpul ones, if you even just do this with them, they really just loosen up and the buckle just walks all around on you, loosening up as you move, run, and do whatever. And then when you go to kind of let your rifle hang, it's like down around your waist, because it's like a pair of pants when you don't wear the right belt. But this isn't a dedicated sling video, so let's go ahead and move on and talk about the quality and the price of this stuff. So as you saw up close, solid stuff, good material, great stitching, made in the USA. So let's talk about the price. So as far as the slings go, like that one right there, it does vary a little bit depending on the pattern and the style. Do you want the padded one, the non-padded one, multicam? There's a little bit of a difference in price. So those are gonna range from 45 to 65, depending on the padded, non-padded, and of course, which material you actually want. So the EarPro wraps are gonna range a little bit too, again, depending on the material and the options you want. So they have the standard one, which is like that right there you saw up close. Just has the ability to Velcro a nameplate on there. They do have one that also has a secondary part that comes off and has a little kind of lanyard so you can hook it onto your pants, your belt, or whatever. That's really not my thing, but they're gonna range from 30 to 40 bucks depending on what pattern you want. And of course, if you want that lanyard to clip onto your belt, say you're just walking around a lot, I kind of like the slick one mostly, and I definitely want the nameplate, because if you don't have a nameplate on there, imagine how many of your buddies have the same looking EarPro and they walk away with yours, and then you're wearing their sweaty EarPro around for the rest of the day on the range. Now, when it comes to the brace straps like those right there, about 23 bucks, so that's not bad at all. That's the tester part. In fact, when I talked to the owner and asked him to send some of this stuff out, he generally said, yeah, people generally will kind of buy one of these to test the product out. And then once they see it's good stuff and it's made, they come back and they buy a sling or something else. So I thought that was pretty funny, because, you know, being that they're the seller, they can see what you've purchased. And he said almost everybody buys one of these first and then comes back and buys a couple slings and everything else, because it's like that tester product. You're just getting your feet wet to see if it's gonna be good quality. Well, if you guys are in the market for any of that stuff, definitely check out Flatline Fiber. Like I said, USA made stuff, located right out of Georgia, and I hope that was helpful a little bit. Should you be looking for some of that stuff, because there's a lot of kind of garbage products out there, especially on certain websites that get everything from overseas. There's just a lot of cheaply made gear. It's better to buy good quality stuff up front that's gonna last you a long time. And for most of us, a lot of that stuff's gonna last years. So a little bit of an investment is definitely gonna go a long way. Make sure you guys get subbed up, get belled up, and turn the notifications to all on. I'm really curious to know, what type of sling are you running? What brand, what style, single point, 2-point, 3-point? Anyone even still run a 3-point sling? Either way, let me know down in the comments below. You guys get out there, have some fun on the range, and remember, if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready, and I will see you guys on the next one.